Where do I even begin? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Soren Review. And today we are reviewing the NASCAR Cup Series playoff race at Darlington. I have never seen a race like today, and I mean that in a good way because unlike Daytona last week, which I chose not to do a review on because that was a very chaotic race, and I just didn't feel like reviewing my review would do justice to that race for how just chaotic it was. However, this was chaotic in a good way. I enjoyed this race a lot, and it lived up to the standard of Darlington. It lived up to the standard of a great opening playoff race, where unlike Daytona, it wasn't completely up to lottery. It was skill based. There was mechanical failures, there was pit road problems, there was great racing, and overall a solid race. Now, I wrote down throughout the race memorable events because if I didn't, I would definitely forget stuff, and I probably will forget stuff as we go through. So I'm going to go through the race, talk about it as we go, and then I'm going to go through the results. Actually, while I go over it, the results should be on your screen now. I have a large list of stuff that is very memorable. Now, stage one was probably the least eventful. Uh, it started off, well, your regular Darlington race. We did have some light rain in turn two that brought out a caution. Though we never went to red flag conditions, we kind of just stayed rolling for about 10 to 15 laps and went back to green. During that time, Kyle Larson, a mechanical problem for the 5 car, put him, I believe, 3 laps down at the most. That'll play an event later. But he just note that he had a mechanical problem. Joey Logano, who was also top three at the time, had a problem on pit road. They fell back, I believe, to like 10th, if I'm not mistaken. And William Byron, who was very fast early in the race, especially on the short run, wins the stage as a caution. 2 laps prior to the end of the stage came out after Chase Elliott. Yes, already Chase Elliott, a guy who we thought would breeze through this first round. He spun out in turn two and got loose, spun out, and came back up into the track and in front of Chase Briscoe, who was already struggling, and I believe was a lap down. But then Elliott comes back up and hits Chase Briscoe, hits him, damages Chase Briscoe's car, basically ends Chase Briscoe's night. Briscoe came home with a 27th place finish, 4 laps down. Um, and for Chase Elliott, the team attempted to fix the car, but the damaged vehicle policy ultimately ended his day, even though it was extended to 10 minutes. Tolling broke. Just a tough break for Chase Elliott. Stage two underway. Kyle Busch led a majority of the second stage. Joe Gibbs was very fast as the night settled in. However, stage two, much more eventful. Ross Chastain, with a mechanical problem, ultimately set him back from any sort of a top 5 or top 10 finish. After running top 5 up to that point, he comes home with a 20th place position, the first car or second car 1 lap down. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hit the wall throughout stage two, but no caution came out. He also had a mechanical problem. Of course, not that much attention on the television because he's not a playoff driver. A caution came out, though, later on in stage two. Todd Gilliland spun out. We restarted, and Kyle Larson spun out. Yes, Kyle Larson. He was then back to 2 laps down. So a bit of drama. Corey LaJoy stayed out on a restart and caught some cars that wanted to take the wave around not able to take the wave around, and that allowed, also with LaJoy staying out on the restart, Truex takes the lead from Kyle Busch. Martin Truex Jr., arguably the fastest car on the track. We'll talk more about that later. Cody Ware spins out late in the stage. some pit strategy, but not really. Kyle Busch ends up winning the second stage, and Kyle Larson back on the lead lap through all that mayhem. He gets back on the lead lap, and we'll talk more about Larson. Actually, I don't think Larson actually did much after that. He finishes with a 12th place finish. Definitely recovery from what could have been a poor finish for Larson. Stage 3 was definitely the most eventful, though. Kyle Busch led for a majority of the race, and not much was happening. Some guys, going up and back towards the battle. Kyle Busch led, and then I believe Martin Truex Jr. took the lead from him. And about halfway through the stage, Kevin Harvick caught fire. The car caught fire, and big flames on the Harvick car. That ended Harvick's day. He had to stop on the apron in turn 1, and a tough break and a big moment. Kevin Harvick in his interview called out, saying that the cars are awful, they're garbage. It's cheaper for NASCAR not to do anything. I personally agree. NASCAR definitely I think everybody, um, people on the broadcast, the drivers, the fans are saying that we need to fix something, because right now NASCAR, these cup cars are catching fire. This is like the fourth car. Chris Buescher at Indy, Logano at the end of the race at Indy. There was a car at Richmond. I don't recall who. Kevin Harvick today. So NASCAR needs to do something about that and get that fixed. However, because the Harvick caution was midway through a pit cycle, Toyota, not including Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, and Brad Keselowski, who had not pitted yet, used the caution to cycle to the front. They were the only ones on the lead lap. This plays a big part, because if you look at your top 10, who's in the top 10? Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones, Michael McDowell, a good number of Toyotas, kinda. We'll talk about what happened to Kyle Busch and Martin Truex. We restarted. Denny Hamlin, who was third, played poor pit strategy. Kind of worked out, kind of didn't. He finished second, and due to some cautions, it ended up working out. Not sure if it would have worked out, though. Interesting strategy, I guess you could say. Cody Ware hit the wall in the third stage, no caution. But this is when the real drama starts happening. Martin Truex Jr., one of the dominant cars of the day, lost power steering from the lead. It ended his night. He lost the lead. Tough break for Martin Truex Jr. Just cannot catch a break, cannot win a race. Just a horrible break for him. A couple laps later, Cody Ware hit the wall again, and the caution came out. Cody Ware sounded a bit sore and hurt in the car, so hope he is okay. Even bigger drama, though, under the caution, Kyle Busch, the engine blows up. People are saying it's a mischief. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Kyle Busch, engine blows up. A horrible break for Kyle Busch. Just so unfortunate. And guess who cycles to the front? The historic 43 car, Eric Jones, cycles to the front with Reddick in second. And he's able to. We restarted with about 20 some to go. I think 20 laps to go exactly. Eric Jones able to hold off Denny Hamlin. Hamlin got really close there in the last 2 laps. Hamlin probably could have sent Jones, but I think Hamlin a little courteous on that last lap. Didn't send it in. Wanted to race Jones cleanly, but Eric Jones gets the 200th win in the 43 car, I believe. And it 55th year anniversary of the 43 car going to victory lane at Darlington. It's the first win since 2014 for the 43 car, and an important fact that I noticed, I don't think many people have noticed, This is the first time a non-playoff driver has won in the round of 16 in such a crazy season. We knew that probably had a chance of happening. 17 different winners. Truex and Blaney don't even have a win. We still have Talladega. We still have the Roval. Don't tell me that we can't have 20 plus winners by the end of this season. It's just absolutely chaotic what is going on this season. The rest of their top 10, Hamlin, Reddick, Logano, Bell, all fast cars tonight. Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, great runs for them. William Byron, Alex Bowman, they break their top 10 list streaks, so they both get top 10s. Bubba Wallace, a solid ninth place finish. Those not on the top 10 that are playoff drivers, Larson, as I mentioned, finished 12th. Ryan Blaney, 13th. Austin Cindric and Austin Dillon and Daniel Suarez, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Daniel Suarez was top 5 at one point, but a speeding penalty put him back and could never recover. Ross Chastain in 20th position, Chase Briscoe in 27th, Kyle Busch in 30th, Kevin Harvick in 33rd, and Chase Elliott in a dead last 36th place position. And looking at the points right now, Alex Bowman and above are plus 10 or more. Kyle Busch is plus 8 and 11th. Daniel Suarez is plus 2 over Austin Cindric. Austin Dillon is minus 4. Chase Briscoe is minus 10. And Kevin Harvick in a deep hole already is minus 13. Going to be crazy. We head into Kansas. Hopefully they got that tire fixed after the earlier Kansas race. Gonna be interesting. Will Hendrick be fast? Will the Chevys be fast? That's who was fast earlier at Kansas. But Fords, Toyotas, I think it's gonna be a real chaotic race at Kansas. Gonna be interesting which teams show up, which teams don't. That's going to do it for this video, though. Remember, you can use code Soren72 at checkout at Circle B Diecast to get $5 off shipping on all orders $30 or more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you want, at Review Soren. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and goodbye.